Hello, I'm Jayda and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is technically my first official video since my trailer, so welcome if you're new here. As I said, I am Jayda and I am a wedding content creator. Not only do I work with couples who are getting married and do all their wedding content, but I also create content on YouTube like what you're watching right now. I was really inspired. I was trying to think of what types of videos would my target audience want to watch? And I was just thinking about how I can combine some of my hobbies, some of my passions, and weddings are definitely a passion for me, but also lettering and calligraphy. In 2020, I started my own business called Painted Letters, where I create signs and different lettering pieces for my clients. I have designed seating charts, I've designed welcome signs, place cards, card boxes, and the typical pieces that you would see at a wedding. There's been a recent trend where mirrors have been used for wedding seating charts. So today I will be showing you how to make your own DIY wedding seating chart that will look super professional that your guests will just love. So step number one, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this mirror needs to be cleaned. So I'm going to clean that right now. Now that the mirror is clean, I'm going to clear off my desk and I'm going to place the mirror on top of my desk. It will just make it easier in the long run. So just a second. The mirror is not as clean as I was anticipating. For our first example, I'm going to show you how to make your seating chart using Canva. I'm just going to do it on top of this. I don't care. Maybe I should care. So we're going to just go for our modern black and white color scheme just to keep it simple. And then obviously you can make edits based on your color scheme that you've chosen for your wedding. First, this will be for each table. So maybe I'm going to start by writing table 1. So we have table 1, which is going to go in the top. I really like London. I feel like this works really well for a wedding seating chart. So we're going to use London. Then I'm going to start writing names. So I'm just going to make them up. What I would usually do is I would figure out how many groups we have, how many people to each table, and then figure out how we can best coordinate this. I'm just going to go through and write random names. I think I like that generally. I am not sure about the London font. So that is my finalized seating chart for one of the tables. So I'm going to repeat this 9 more times and then I will be back to show you what to do after that. So now we have all of our tables, same names. Obviously we'll change the name for each of them, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to press share. You're going to click download, and I always download onto PNGs because I find that the quality is a lot better. It's for more intricate things. I wouldn't necessarily use PDF because I find that sometimes it can be a little bit more blurry. So I'm going to download as a PNG. I tend to go to Google Drive and I create Google drawings of each of them. Send this to the printer. So we're going to print the first one, and then you're going to repeat that for the rest of your pages. Here we have the table numbers on pieces of paper. I put it on just regular piece of paper, but of course you can print it on cardstock. You can print it on fancier paper that you find even off Amazon or at Michael's or Staples. You can always find better paper, but I'm going to cut them all. I should have waited to clean the mirror because I'm making a disaster of it right now with fingerprints. Put these through the paper cutter. If you don't have a paper cutter, regular scissors works perfectly fine. I find that I just appreciate having a paper cutter to make my cuts just a little bit straighter and more precise. So now we have all of them finished. I'm going to show here all of the tables cut out and ready. So now it's totally up to your creative decision making. But some options that you have, you can leave it just regular, it will sit like this, which honestly is so pretty and so sleek. You could choose to mount it on a black piece of paper. Looks really pretty as well. To keep it simple today, I'm just going to be leaving them as is, but that is a really good option that you can use. Now, one of the big things that you will do is organize them. So it's important to kind of place them out first, see what you think of them before officially deciding location. 8, 9. And of course, every wedding is different. Do what works for you. Now I'm going to use this to show what it looks like. Something that I actually love is a new trend, wax seals. So I'm going to do a little close up on this. I'm going to be using these as seals that will go right here. You can get all types of colors off Amazon. I'm just going to show what it looks like. I'm not going to actually stick them on because again, they will not be used for this mirror, but I'm going to use painter's tape to kind of show what they could look like. So that is our first example of a seating chart. This is a really, really good budget-friendly option that also just looks beautiful. So I'm going to clean this up and then we're going to move on to our next type of seating chart. I'm so excited to share this one with you guys because as a lettering artist, I have made many different mirror decorations. It is so simple. Again, it is hard when maybe if your printing isn't the greatest. That's why I provided the first example that requires no print, like beautiful writing ability. This one, definitely, I'm not going to do as much detail as I would usually do. The couple of materials that you will for sure need, painter's tape, so helpful for this. A level is really good and I do use this a lot. A meter stick or a smaller ruler. And then what you're going to need is a variety of, well, you don't need a variety of markers, but I have a variety of markers here that I'm going to quickly describe for you. We have two primary options that I use. So these are the two that I use and I am obsessed with. So we have the Posca. So the Posca looks like this. I use Posca markers so much. This is my primary marker that I tend to use when I'm using a paint marker. It is completely water-based, not quite as opaque as our oil-based marker, which I will describe in a second. And this is so good to be able to wipe off later. Then we also have thinner tips. So this one that I tend to use for most of my writing is the 5M, but I also use the 3M. This is the slightly smaller size, is the 3M. And then we also have even smaller, which is the 1M. If you want a permanent version, we have the Sharpie oil-based markers. And I'm sure you've heard of these because these are they're the best. I find that they are so helpful for when I make acrylic signs and will not come off with just water. And again, we're not going to be using those today, but they work so well if you want something more permanent. How you're going to start always is make a plan. So here I'm going to show you, I am left-handed, which can be very frustrating sometimes because as a lettering artist, I tend to do a lot of my lettering backwards because I completely run through it as I write. So what I'm going to show is kind of the way I sketch it out. So I'm going to start with Be Our Guest. So you can basically write whatever you want at the top of the mirror, but I'm going to do Be Our Guest. I'm a Disney girl. And then we're going to make sections again. You're going to use this to help you know where you should be putting things. So I'm going to start to show you my process. What I'm going to start off with is I'm going to show what it's going to look like with painter's tape. I want to have Be Our Guest at the very top. So I'm going to give space for Be Our Guest. Okay, so this is definitely not completely even, but that's okay. We have 9 different groups. Sorry about the overhead light. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but that's okay because again, when you're writing it, you will be able to change things. So we're going to start with Be Our Guest, starting at the top so that I'm not going to run into everything. And again, as you go, you can make changes. I don't love the top of the G, so I'm going to erase that. I'm definitely a perfectionist, so if you're anything like me, you'll be doing lots of erasing. You'll want to give it a couple of seconds just to dry before you go in and do the like faux lettering look, if that is what you want. So I'm going to, again, because I'm left-handed, I'm going to go this way. For those of you who are right-handed, definitely go left over. I'm going to just start going for it. Sorry, I ran out of storage suddenly. I had to delete a couple things. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do the entire seating chart. So this is what it looks like. I do really love the look of the hand printed. And so what you're going to do at the end is you're going to take your painter's tape. So here is what our seating chart looks like at this point. Obviously, I would continue on for a client, but I feel like this gives a really good idea of what it looks like. I really do love this look, and I feel like it just makes it so personal, so beautiful. You can tell that it was handwritten. I really do love it. So that is the final look, obviously, of the second option. Again, these are both very popular, trendy options that you can use. It basically just depends on the aesthetic that you are going for, that you and your partner love. Weddings are so subjective, and ultimately, whatever you choose, I'm sure it will look so beautiful. Make sure you do not forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up, and I hope that this community just makes you feel so welcome. Okay, I think that's everything. I hope to see you later.